Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today I have the pleasure of Sri Mohandas T G's company. Mohandas Ji, welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskaram, sir. Happy to see you again.
Namaskaram to you too, and a big namaskaram to all the viewers of PGurus across the world. We strive to give you news, views that you will not find in any channel. That is our USP, I should say, unique selling proposition. And today we are with Mohandas Ji to sort of catch up with what has been happening in Kerala. He has been very actively involved in many causes, and also to draw on his valuable experience of what the ground is thinking about the recently concluded semi-finals, so-called 5-state elections. So Mohandas Ji, what are your headline items that you can took away from these 5-state elections?
Let me tell you frankly, this election results did not surprise me at all. It is not that I was expecting a defeat of BJP. I was not surprised in the sense that the Indian electorate, according to me, is the most unpredictable electorate in the world. You may see so many things happening outwardly, but there are undercurrents also, which probably no cephalogist, no seasoned politician is able to read. Therefore, the way the Indian electorate vote is always surprising. So in every election, I expect for a surprise, and when it happens, I'm not surprised at all because I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that to happen.
Mohandas Ji, I can expect one state surprise, but what has happened has surprised many, because Chhattisgarh was supposed to be a place where, because it was a triangular fight, Congress was supposed to lose and BJP was supposed to sneak through. Please continue. The surprise is the entire state. That's what I'm trying to say.
Now, let me tell you, just go back to 1993. The Ayodhya incident was in 1992, December 6th. There was a surge of Hindu votes towards BJP. It was obvious even in 1991 elections. BJP lost those elections because Rajiv Gandhi was killed. And after the Ayodhya incident, 5 governments were dismissed by Narasimha Rao using Article 356. And according to Constitution, elections might have been conducted within 6 months. But Narasimha Rao did one more mischief. He extended the period of another 6 months by passing an amendment in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So those elections took place after 1 year. After 1 year, when we saw BJP lost all 4 states except 1.
Could you perhaps help our viewers out, because many of our viewers were probably babies or not born yet. So which were the states that BJP was expected to win and lost, and which was the one that it ended up winning?
No, we were expecting all 5 states BJP will win. The slogan was, which was released by Advani ji at that time, Aaj Panch Pradesh, Kal Sara Desh. This was the slogan. So today we are going to win 5 states and tomorrow the whole of India. But the result was miserable. I remember we lost, except Himachal Pradesh, or all 4 states, that is Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh. We lost very badly, and that was a rude shock to BJP at that time. Even to the nation.
Sorry. And then what did the party do? What changes did they ring in?
The party surprisingly didn't do any change at all, because by that time the old once upon a time very popular Sarsanghchalak of RSS is advised to all Swayamsevak was that never analyze your ideology by standing in the midst of a defeat. You stand in the midst of your ideology and analyze the defeat, not vice versa. Generally, what happens is when people get a drubbing in the elections, they stand in the midst of the dilapidated party machinery, fatigued by an electoral defeat. Everybody says that no, we have to change our strategy, we have to change our slogan, we have to change our principles. This is not suitable for people. We have to change everything, etc. But Devasji told, never do that. You hold to your principles firm and then analyze why did not click. Analyze the defeats, not analyze the ideology.
Is that what the RSS is doing now?
I hope so. They will still hold to that principle, because I will heavily borrow from Dr. Subramanian Swamy here that we came to power on 3 slogans. One was anti-corruption, second was development, third was hindutva. So any one of the element, if it is missing, the tripod will fall. Only 2 elements on which tripod cannot rest. You have to have all 3 equal combination of your principles. Then only you can win elections.
Let me ask you a blunt question, Mohandas Ji.
Yeah.
Amit Shah, Narendra Modi have been RSS, associated with RSS. They were pracharaks, and then they rose up through the ranks. They know the ideology. They know this philosophy. Then they also knew that this tripod was what was keeping them up. Yet, if I have to give score, it is 0, 0, and 1. Development, absolutely, they have done some work. But on hindutva as well as on fight against corruption, they have not done anything. And they certainly now, having ignored Dr. Swamy for the 4.5 years, not claim that they did do anti-corruption work by showing his work. That is, people are too smart for that. So please tell me why this current leadership is thinking and doing what it's continuing to do.
No, your analysis is correct that way. So many things happened on the development side, but nothing tangible happened on the corruption side, and whatever happened was due to Dr. Subramanian Swamy, that is true. But we must also consider one point where development will not be objected by anybody. But you take the course of anti-corruption, there will be a lot of impediments from within and without, in the court and in the media. It's a very difficult fight. Fighting corruption is not a joke. Fighting corruption and making this bureaucracy fighting corruption promptly. Because when government fights in court, you need to have a good bureaucracy with you. Otherwise, some sort of embarrassment may happen, just like what we are facing it now in Rafale deal. A small typing mistake is costing big embarrassment for the party. So this is the way, and Dr. Swamy being an individual, whatever resources he has got at his command, he can just continue with his fight. But for Modi, it is not so, because there are so many undercurrents in bureaucracy also. There are people maybe having cross loyalty. Their old loyalty did not die. Merely because Modi has come, nobody will change the mindset. There are beneficiaries of corruption still inside the government and bureaucracy. So this type of huge impediments are there. Even if Modi is sincerely trying to put forth the idea of anti-corruption as well as hindutva, he will face a lot of impediments. But for people like great men like Dr. Swamy or small men like me, our resources are at our command. Our advocate, our papers, everything is at our command. We can just go to the court and start our fight thinking single-pointedly pursuing a point. We are free, rather we are free citizens, unlike a prime minister. So this might have taken a toll on the efficiency of our Prime Minister. That is what I could reasonably, giving all benefit of doubt to everybody. This is what I analyze what has happened on the anti-corruption side and Hindutva, which has resulted in an imbalance of this report and we failed. But at the same time,
sorry, one interruption. See, if you think of politics, it could be like test match cricket, whereas what the people are looking at it is like a T20 match. Whatever explanations that we are talking about, these are some things that they would say, listen, you've been in power for 12 years in Gujarat. You know how to eliminate resistance from the bureaucracy because you got a lot of things done there. You see, the problem I've been told again and again is the Prime Minister Modi is a pale shadow of what he could accomplish in Gujarat. Whatever we might say in the center that he is facing resistance, he must have faced the same, if not more, in Gujarat because he was just entering, he was straight made a chief minister. He was just, he was kind of like parachuted into the thing, and he got this Bhuj earthquake restoration effort. That was his first big effort. And so what I'm trying to say is he started out with a much worse situation in Gujarat, and then he came out of that. Now, maybe, I'm not saying that this is my opinion, I'm just saying maybe people were expecting something like that from Modi ji, not just on development, but also on the other fronts. What are your thoughts?
You see, in Gujarat, Narendra Modi came into power first through a massive Hindu wave. And maybe from the second or third election, he was elected for his developmental work because there was some development to show to the people. Anti-corruption as such, you see, there was no landmark case in Gujarat where Modi has to personally intervene and see that the case is taken to the logical conclusion. No major arrest, nothing. In fact, there was no major scam in my memory in Gujarat which was going on. Maybe some minor problems here and there in bureaucracy. So anti-corruption was not an issue in Gujarat. As far as hindutva is concerned, Gujarat was predominantly hindutva even before the arrival of Narendra Modi.
They say that Gujarat is the kitchen where all the ideas are tested before they are unleashed to the rest of the world, especially for hindutva causes.
No, that's a media pendulum which goes either extremes always.
Yes.
When they say that Modi has become prime minister, they say now Hindutva has come, as if Hindutva did not exist before that. That is not the way it should be seen. Gujarat was dominantly pro-Hindutva, whether Congress ruled or BJP ruled. It was a pro-Hindutva state. Madhya Pradesh was so, what I was telling you. See, those states, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, etc., there is a basic Hindutva in the atmosphere, in the live stream of those people. In fact, you can compare Kerala and Gujarat. An average congressman is more Hindu in Gujarat than an average RSS worker in Kerala. That is the difference. So that was all inherent advantage for Narendra Modi. So he need not had the support of this tripod idea.
So what you're saying is what you're saying is he's dealing with a different demographic when he looks at the whole country.
Yeah.
Okay.
So therefore, I will not say that Modi is a pale shadow or anything. That will be some sort of unkindest cut from my side.
Right.
I will say that with lot of pulls and pressures, the Prime Minister might have wanting some sort of deficit in his performance, as well as, as far as anti-corruption and Hindutva is concerned. But development-wise, he progressed very well. But the point is to be taken care of is that, for me, this 15-year continuous term for Shivraj Singh Chauhan, in fact, that is surprising.
So
From
in your opinion, if they had changed the face of the chief minister in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Chhattisgarh, because all three they continued with the old person, do you think that could have made a difference?
uh, I don't think so. I don't think so. It is not the personality which is counting. It is the party rule.
Okay.
See, people get bored with a single party rule for quite some time.
Then would you
After,
apply the same rule at the center also?
yeah, I will definitely do that because you see, from 1989, single party rule at the center that vanished. After 89, it was always a multi-party rule at the center, whosoever be the leadership, Congress or BJP. Now, after almost 30 years, BJP got single majority in Lok Sabha. But still we are having a multi-party rule. NDA is ruling, though we generally we say BJP is ruling, BJP is ruling, but it is NDA. There are other parties are also there. So single party rule at the center has practically vanished. The days of single party rule is no more there. Even while single party is capable of ruling alone, they are taking help of, because they were the previous allies. Of, you cannot just dismiss Shiromani Akali Dal merely because you got a simple majority. That will be unfair in politics to do. Therefore, we have an NDA. And you see, the states are sometimes changing their rulers uh, every 5 years or maximum 10 years. That is why I told you 15 years was rather surprising for me. Whether it is Shivraj Singh Chauhan or Narendra Modi himself or maybe God himself, people, we generally call it sophisticated manner, we say it is anti-incumbency. But generally it is getting bored with bhaiya thak gaya ye thoda change kar do. Because people need change also. Some fresh setup is required. And the Indian electorate, surprisingly, you will see, they are not much fanciful about honest and clean administration, etc. That is why, in a sophisticated manner, again I will borrow from Dr. Subramanian Swamy, he always say that your economic performance may not bring you votes, but if your economic underperformance will be severely punished.
So what you're saying, again, I think I'll quote Dr.
Now,
Swamy, is that it is a necessary condition. Economic performance is a necessary condition, but it is not a sufficient condition.
Sufficient condition.
Yes.
That includes corruption also.
Yes.
Economic performance, though Swamy did not specifically mention it, that includes corruption also.
Yes. So there was, so that was a missing link. Maybe that was a memo that Modi didn't read. But
Yeah.
let me play the devil's advocate. So
Yeah.
whatever cases that he has initiated against the corrupt, I mean, they are going through the court system, and whoever is being accused of whatever charges, they have recourse to the court to state their side of the story. So how can we fault Modi when the court system itself is so slow that it is, it's not like, these cases are going slower than the other cases or faster than the other cases. They are just seem to be going at the same pace as the other cases. So how can we fault Modi for not having worked against corruption?
That is what I am telling you. That's what I am telling you. He is sincere in fighting corruption, but the impediments are so huge. Now, take the case of NJSC, National Judicial Appointment Commission, wherein the government of India would have some leeway in appointing judges. So, when you have some power with you to appoint judges, or at least you are a party to appointing judges, then judges also will listen to you, because you are one of the men who has appointed them. And if you are making a special request of speedy disposition of a particular case, it is the discretion of the judge. He can post it for next day itself and give a day-to-day hearing and finish it off. Now, this type of things will not happen because the government of India doesn't have any role at all. Now they say that you make a procedure, etc., and there is some stalemate going on between Supreme Court and government of India. It was sad that NJSC was declared unconstitutional by Supreme Court because That was a constitutional amendment. We did not have a majority in Rajya Sabha, but the opposition cooperated. Everybody wanted NJSC, and not one, 16 assemblies, state assemblies, they ratified this constitutional amendment. It's a constitutional requirement also.
And then
after all these things,
then the Supreme Court struck it down, right?
So the Supreme Court mercilessly struck it down.
Yeah.
That too, with the 5-member constitutional bench, I think 4 were in favor of striking it down, and Justice Chalameshwar was the single man who dissented. He said this is okay. That was a watershed in the history of Indian Parliament, that such a huge mandate, people's mandate, was just dismissed by Supreme Court mercilessly, saying that it is anti-constitutional. Now, I don't know, you see the basic principle of constitution making, the authority of constitution making and amending is lying with the Parliament. And when the Parliament says that this is the system, how can you say that it is anti-constitutional?
So in such a case, sorry, sir, in such a case, how can the executive, that is the Parliament, override the Supreme Court?
It's very difficult now. Very difficult now. Previously, the appointments were made by when Indira Gandhi, etc., they superseded Supreme Court because they had the power with them.
A and Ray, I remember that. Yeah.
But that time the pendulum went to the other side. That is why Ram Jethmalani once said that there are judges in Supreme Court who know law, and there are few judges who know the law minister. That was his famous quote in Supreme Court by none other than Ram Jethmalani. That was the system then. And ever since from 1993, SP Gupta case, Supreme Court slowly asserted all the powers, and now it is totally within the powers of Supreme Court judges to appoint themselves and to appoint High Court judges also. You and me have no role in that.
So I get the thing. So there is a problem there that he has run up against, where the Supreme Court and the judiciary system is not listening to be controlled or even have an input from the executive. I think we get the point. Now, sir, I'm sorry to force you back on the topic. The reason I'm bringing us back to the topic is, do you think, you and I agree that Modi has tried very, very hard to contain or battle anti-corruption? You and I think, at least.
Yes.
But what do you think the electorate thought in these states?
Now, let me tell you candidly, electorate is not much worried about corruption as such, as on date.
So then you're contradicting yourself. You said that development is a necessary condition, and so is fight against corruption. So if that is a necessary condition, then people would want to know about it, isn't it?
See, a report will become unbalanced even if slight shortage is there in one of the link.
Yes.
It is unbalanced. Gir jayega. But for people, you see, this only anti-corruption, they will not evaluate. You might have seen so many good people being defeated in elections. So many corrupt people are winning. In fact, A. Raja won after going to jail. He won from somewhere.
A. Raja's was a special case where BJP defaulted. Please continue.
He could do that. He could do that. Frankly, he won. And Kanimuri is the best legislature, parliamentarian. Now, some award is being given to Kanimuri. These things are possible. Because what happened was in 2014, there was a big movement by Anna Hazare. We cannot delete it from our memory. So he brought this anti-corruption issue to the fore. And honestly, BJP also benefited from that. So corruption became probably the biggest issue in 2014 elections. But it was not so in the recent assembly elections. Was there a corruption issue in Madhya Pradesh or in Rajasthan or in Chhattisgarh? No. Corruption was not the main issue. Corruption might have been some issue, but not the main issue. And Number two, left to themselves, people vote, Indian voter goes and vote for Congress. Suppose there is an issueless election, take it from me, Congress will win. You say no election campaign shall be conducted. Only candidates let them give their nomination and take rest in the house. And on a particular day, the election will take place. No campaign, no posters, no speeches. I'm sure Indian electorate will go and vote Congress. There is a Congress bias inbuilt in the minds of the Indian voter.
So what you're telling the viewers is that anybody going up against Congress needs to do extra work to, highlight the fact that they can do a much better job than what the voters think in their mind is the candidate, right?
That is one thing. But at the same time, again, I must go back to Dr. Subramanian Swamy that Indian elections are fought on emotions, not on cool calculations. It's always fought on emotions. Who creates the biggest emotional wave, he will win the elections. So this time, I think my party has had some problem in creating a wave in favor of them, so that they could probably some sort of complacency might have set in our workers. That is also to be examined. We had a feeling that जब तक अरे सब ठीक हो जाएगा, मोदी जी आएंगे एक भाषण में सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, कभी हो भी जाता है. Sometimes it happens.
I must sorry to interrupt you, sir. Today there was a meeting in Raebareli, and the news reports are saying that within 15 minutes the crowd started dispersing. As soon as within 15 minutes of Modi ji started to speak, the crowd started dispersing. I don't know if, see, these are all optics, right? I mean, somebody, you put TV cameras, you bring in congressmen and then make it look as if, he has lost his magic touch. Be that as it may, I think even for Modi to say that I have done something, if you look at all his speeches in the last 4.5 years, he's still saying I'm fighting against corruption. Whereas now he can even say, look, I brought this person in, I'm fighting this person in the case, in the court, and so on and so forth. I think this is one thing that, my opinion again, that BJP may have made a mistake, whether it is a falsehood or truth. Somewhere it has stuck in the voters' mind that BJP promised 15 lakhs per family or per person. That's a huge amount of money, right? I think that still is resonating in the people's mind. So I didn't get that. Therefore, because I'm trying to, play along with what your premise, that if nothing else is changed, the tendency of the people are to go and vote for Congress. Please continue.
Now, this 15 lakhs was a falsehood which was spread by Congress. That was reasonably rebutted also. That is why they didn't raise it during these elections. They knew it's utter falsehood. But one thing, I must admit that we have failed in sending strong signals that we are fighting corruption. I might be doing honest job for 20 hours or 24 hours a day. But if people doesn't know that I am laboring for them, they will feel that this man would have been sleeping inside. How do we know? So this strong signal, for example, I will tell you, there was a decision to shut down NDTV Hindi for a day. That decision was cancelled by INB minister. I think that time it was now Vice President Venkaiah Naidu. For no reason, that decision was cancelled. That sent a very wrong signal to the people and a right signal to the media. That this government is succumbing to the pressure of dirty media. That too NDTV. That created a big mistrust among educated people who know the games which NDTV is playing. And you know better than me, you have produced one book, and I hope your next book is also coming out shortly. So a government which is pusillanimous or vacillating on just shutting down for one day as a punishment for the propagating falsehood. Even that cannot be done by this government. It seems that this government is very weak. This incident may be very small, but the message was huge, too big. This type of gaffes or this type of shortcomings, when you sit in the government, you think that it is a minor thing. अरे भाई छोड़ दो, but लोग नहीं छोड़ते, आप छोड़ते हैं. People will not leave such things. So we have committed minor mistakes, which has sent major signals. Now, not giving a report to the court in National Herald case, or making a typing mistake in a confidential letter which you are supposed to give to the Supreme Court in a seal cover. See how carefully those things to be drafted. In fact, I am also a small advocate. I have submitted seal cover to the Chief Justice of Kerala, but I ensured it 100 times, me and my advocate. यही कागज है ना, कुछ गलती तो नहीं, again spell check, do the spell check, and then we called a third man, a fresh man. We asked him to read it. भाई इसमें कुछ गलती है क्या? Because this is going to be a secret document, and we have to be very careful. If it is open, then we can say that sorry, your lordship, we made a mistake. Right now, we will correct it. But when it is a sealed cover, only the judge sees it and returns it to you. He doesn't keep it with you. So we have to be extra careful. And a small carelessness has resulted in big embarrassment. That is why I said that small things sending big signals have damaged us definitely. We have to be more careful. Our workers, top to bottom, we have to be more careful, more damn serious in the coming days. Otherwise, 2009 will be a bigger shocker for us. God forbid.
Viewers, this is the third in our series of talks about what happened in the semi-final elections. And I'm sure you will see that what you are hearing are different matters and different perspectives from different geographic regions. And Mohandas ji, last takeaway, what do you think Modi ji needs to do? By Modi ji, I mean his government, between now and 2019 elections in order to win? And what do you think Congress is doing right that they might actually yet come back, stage a comeback? Let's say not say Congress, let's say MGB, Mahagadbandhan.
Mahagadbandhan is very difficult for them to come back because they have no trust in BJP. You know, this election results, except Chhattisgarh, they won by fluke. How did they win in Madhya Pradesh? Very few. In fact, we polled more votes than them because of the first past post system. They got more seats. In fact, number of votes polled is more for BJP than Congress. In Rajasthan also, it's not a sweeping victory. You can say Chhattisgarh is a serious setback for us. So Congress has not won on any platform. These elections were anti-BJP, not pro-Congress. So therefore, I don't expect any spectacular result in 2019. This assembly results will make Congress more arrogant. You see the way they were fighting for chief ministership in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. It was out in open. A particular caste group is supporting Sachin Pilot, and some other group for Ashok Gehlot. All this street fight was there. So imagine what will be the fight in Lok Sabha election for candidature, for seat sharing, and Mayawati is helping them now. And you see what color Mayawati will take in Uttar Pradesh. The friction between SP and BSP in Uttar Pradesh. There are so many fault lines within the Mahagadbandhan, so that it may collapse even before the elections on its own weight, and they may be fighting individually, which could be advantageous to BJP.
Yeah, let's say
but at the same time,
yeah.
I would say that the positive things BJP must do is, it is high time that we bring an ordinance on Ram Temple. Now it cannot. Well, see, it is all foolishness now to continue with the litigation indefinitely in Supreme Court, wherein Supreme Court says that we have posted that to January. On January, we will decide when to post it again. See the irony.
Yeah.
So there is no point. Supreme Court is not going to burn their hands in Ram Temple. They say that, Bhaiya, you find out a political solution or a social solution for the issue which you have created. Don't put it on our head. That is the clear signal given by Supreme Court in Ram Temple. Just like Jallikattu, it's a foolish thing. Tamil Nadu Assembly is bringing a small act superseding the central act. They are passing an act and allowing Jallikattu. PETA is questioning in Supreme Court. Supreme Court conveniently said that, see, this is a big constitutional issue. We should find out whether a state can pass a legislation superseding the center. Every Tom, Dick and Harry in this country know that no state assembly can pass a law against what center has passed. Immediately that should be discarded. But Supreme Court, knowing full well the mood of the people, they said this is a constitutional issue. Let the constitutional bench decide it. So we are keeping it pending, and that Tamil Nadu, Jallikattu is continuing, and the act is pending with Supreme Court. This is what is happening in Ram Temple also. They just cannot decide because they don't want to take the responsibility of consequences of Ram Temple judgment. So I don't expect them to intervene in that. So let our Prime Minister, in right honest, bring an ordinance. Nobody at this point of time going to object to Ram Temple. Maybe some fringe elements may create some problem. Otherwise, all mainstream parties have accepted in their mind as a foregone conclusion that a great Ram Mandir is going to come in Ayodhya. Nobody can prevent it. Now you see, Himachal Pradesh, they have brought in a resolution saying that they are declaring cow as Gomata of Himachal Pradesh. And it's a Congress government. So everybody is for Ram now. This is the right time for our Prime Minister to issue an ordinance. Just hand over that 67 acres to that Akhada or Vishwa Hindu Parishad. They will construct a Ram temple. That will be a big signal given to the nation. And from there on, I think Narendra Modi need not look back.
Viewers, and I hope some in the government are also watching our videos. This is the third one, and I think we're probably going to move on to other topics from this moment forward. So out of the three, and I'm summarizing it for you also, Mohandas Ji, two of our invited speakers have said the same thing, issue an ordinance on Ram Janmabhoomi. If you have little time to watch, I hope you watch this. And I think that is the mood of the nation. And I think many may disagree with this. In fact, we don't have a unanimous opinion from our guests. It's a 2:1. But be that as it may, I think that is our advice to the Prime Minister. And thank you very much for joining PGurus on this Hangout, Mohandas Ji.
Thank you. Thank you so much.